This is Rich. Bill O'Reilly is going to rail against ignorance.
Among U.S. citizens, 29% could not name the vice president, Joseph Biden. 43% were unable to define the Bill of Rights. 40% do not know America fought Japan and Germany in World War II. 40%. 73% do not know communism was the main concern of the Cold War. And 67% of American citizens do not know that our economic system is capitalism. That's a disaster. So what's going on? It's quite clear that the public school system is a main culprit. It's no longer teaching history, geography, or civics in an effective way. I'm generalizing. I know there are some good schools, but most public schools could not care less about instructing young Americans how their country works. Number two, the internet has created a generation of self-absorbed, addicted, distracted, and ignorant people. The powerful machines, handheld many of them, are diverting a lot of Americans away from real life. You can now create your own world on the net devoid of reality, and millions of Americans are doing that. The result is that a very few shrewd people are now wielding enormous power. Many Americans are now voting for what they can get, not for what is best for this nation. And both the Republican and Democratic parties know it. Therefore, we are a country in decline, primarily because 320 million American citizens aren't paying attention. They do not seem to be interested in the welfare of their country. They are primarily interested in their own welfare. Once again, I'm generalizing, and I have a caveat. I'm not pandering here. Those of you watching this broadcast right now are most likely not in the ignorant category. You are taking the time to watch a news program to get information and analysis. But if you add up all the Americans who watch TV news and read the newspaper, it is a minority, not a majority. Finally, with the internet now dominating American life, the situation will most likely get worse. One last stat. According to a poll by the McCormick Tribune Freedom Museum, just 25% of Americans can name more than one of the 5 freedoms the First Amendment guarantees. They are speech, religion, press, assembly, and petition for the redress of grievances. Again, just 25%, could name more than one of those. But more than half of Americans can name at least 2 members of the Simpsons cartoon family.
Yes, Bill, people are stupid. And you're part of the problem! I'm going to come back to that in a second. I'll bite my tongue on that specific point. But let's break a couple things down here. So number one, yes, people are stupid. But this idea that it's somehow new, like, well, around 1992, all of a sudden people started becoming fucking dumbasses. People have always been stupid. Just now we actually have polling companies that can test and we can quantify how stupid they are. Well, you think back in 1946, everybody was an Einstein? Of course they weren't. I hate the self-righteousness of the baby boomers and older generations that are just like, oh, these rotten kids today don't know anything. You don't know anything either, you dumbass. Go talk to a baby boomer. Go talk to somebody who's older than that even, in their 70s or whatever. They don't know anything. Nobody knows anything. That's the point. We're all stupid. It's not like they act like they're they have this snotty, pompous attitude, like, oh, we figured everything out, and you guys, you didn't. Really? Really? That's why the most interesting form of entertainment in your day was AM radio. Yeah, you really figured everything out, didn't you? So that's point number one. Stop pretending like it's new. It's not new. People have always been dumb. Point number two is blaming the internet. If there is anything that's responsible for the opposite, for making us more intelligent, it's the internet. How many articles do you guys read online? How much information and knowledge do you soak in from going online and going to all different news websites or whatever your normal, line of events is that you do on a daily basis. Okay, you have the world at your fingertips, all the information at your fingertips, and he goes, this is hurting our understanding of information. But we have the information because of the internet. What are you talking about? The information's right there because of Google, okay? I love how he called them these powerful machines. Well, what the fuck are we in Terminator 2? What are you talking about? He's so out of touch, it's crazy. And then he says, the country is in decline because of this. No, it's not because of this. Let's get our head out of our ass here. The country is in decline because of the rampant corruption that's been happening from 1978 and onward. The system has been rigged by the rich in favor of the rich. So the productivity of the average American worker has been rising, but our wages have stagnated and flatlined. The problem with this country and the problem with politics in this country and the economy is not laziness or stupidity. It's the fact that the system is rigged for the powerful against the middle class and the poor. That's not to say that that's not to say that people don't know like a lot of things about the world that they should know, that they're not ignorant. Yes, they are ignorant, but they're also not masochists. They have some common sense where if you explain to them, hey, are you in favor of raising the minimum wage or keeping it at $7.25? They go, fuck that, raise it. That guy's right. He might not know, he might not be able to name X amount of presidents or tell you, what date D-Day was or stuff like that, so he doesn't know these, he doesn't know constitutional law, but he can tell you some basic common sense positions. Hey, should we invade Syria, a country that has nothing to do with us and never hurt us, but they're engaged in a civil war? Fuck no, we shouldn't. Again, that guy is right. All right, now, the final couple points here. Bill O'Reilly railing against ignorance is like a sumo wrestler doing an anti-obesity campaign. Bill O'Reilly is the guy who does the fake war on Christmas. Okay, that is beyond ignorant. He wanted to go to war with Syria. Ignorant. He doesn't think income inequality is a big deal. Tremendous ignorance. He just had on a pastor a couple months ago, or just last month actually, that said Obama is paving the road for the Antichrist. But since Bill is not ignorant, of course he pushed back and explained to him, well, what's your evidence? What's your proof? Where are you getting that from? You can't just assert that. That's not... How are we supposed to know that that's true if you say that? No, Bill actually did just let the guy get away with everything. That's ignorant, Bill. That is ignorant. And then, of course, he was one of the biggest cheerleaders for the war in Iraq and connecting it to 9/11. Arguably the most ignorant comment or ignorant argument that was perpetrated in the past 50 years. That Saddam Hussein's responsible for 9/11. He was part of it. We need to invade Iraq. Ignorant all day long. That's what that was. And then finally, the Fox News viewers, according to a study, are less informed than people watching no news. So the people on the network that he's praising and the people that he's talking to and he himself, they are the most ignorant people in America, but he's going to go after people's ignorance. Oh, the irony is overwhelming.